Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. We are right at the end of the tournament. Right now, we are in the round of 4, and this is our first match. It is Scan, the Terran player, going up against Beast, the aggressive Zerg player here in the bottom right of Nemesis. This is going to be a best of 7, and of course, the winner goes on to the finals, the loser on to a third place match. Now, this is really great. Here's something that I love about tournaments like this, where it doesn't necessarily have the absolute top pros. Like, it'll have some of them, but not all of them, like ASL, right? So you get to see, for instance, here, Scan versus Beast, two guys that are ASL quality, but can't make it in every season, actually go at it in a best of 7. Now, how do they actually prepare for this? What types of strategies do they want to bring against each other? You know, it's always kind of hard to say. And it should be very exciting, right? Because they're both very cutting-edge players overall, right? It doesn't feel like they're super absorbed into their own strategy. You know, it's not like they've been pro gamers for 15 years and we already know pretty much how they play or anything like that. So, I don't know. I think that it makes it very much more interesting in a lot of ways. And let me know in the comments if you think so as well. So, Nemesis. This is a crazy map. As you see, we've explained it a bunch of times, right? We've got the two geysers here. This is a good way to look at it. There's actually two eggs here. You can't see in Fog of War. Kill the eggs, you can walk through. You kill a geyser, only small units can go through. You kill both geysers, nothing can go through. Bam. There you go. Also, one thing to mention about Nemesis, the entire map is flat. This is the same level as this. I know it looks like a ramp. It's fooled me as well. The whole center is low as well, like just the same ground. The only raised ground are these parts that are above the mains and those third bases, or the naturals and those third bases. This map in particular only has 12 bases despite being a 4-player map, so it's actually very, very resource light for such a large map, and that definitely can play into things. For instance, Zerg might run out of gas a little bit more quickly. There's not a lot of choices about where to expand and all that. So yeah, definitely Nemesis has given us some wild games so far, really. And hopefully this is one. All right, so Scan just going to go ahead, run by that drone. Sees no natural, may as well scout elsewhere. He has gone for a full Zergling tight wall, so completely safe here. Always nice to do this when you can. Taking that expansion, doesn't need a bunker, doesn't need additional Marines. One will basically do it. And the gas is coming up very quickly, so this could end up being something like a mech opener. It could be like a 1-1-1. It might be a very fast engineering bay for +1 attack. It looks like that's exactly what it's going to be. Getting that eBay right now. So we're going to see Scan rush up into +1 attack, and as he scouts down here and sees that it is in fact a 2-hatchery opener, he'll probably end up going 4 racks, although 3 racks has been somewhat popular lately. You know, there's a lot of builds right now floating around in Terran vs. Zerg. And historically, what we were seeing was basically with +1 builds, you wanted to get as many barracks as you really can. So against a 3-hatchery opener, that would be 5. And against a 2-hatchery opener, that would be 4. And if you're a little bit confused about, hey, how could that be different? Basically, the 2-hatchery gets aggressive a little bit quicker. The Mutalisks come out quite a bit faster, so you don't make quite as many SCVs, and you have to start your turrets before you can get 5 barracks up. So you can't really support 5 barracks very easily with that. So that's why you have a little bit of a difference. See the Spire already being started here for Beast. So, one of the, like I mentioned, excuse me, we've had more popularity, like rising a little bit with the 3 barracks with +1. And what that'll do is that will allow you quicker tech. The +1 you still get very quickly because there's not like a huge reason not to get +1 quickly, especially if you have a wall like this and you still want to go bio. And being able to get up into your factory, again, you can get up to +2 more quickly as well. Like if you really produce a lot of Marines for a long time, then your +2 is actually quite slow with the fast engineering bay build. It seems counterintuitive, but the thing gatekeeping you there is the speed of your science facility. So right now, Scan is only getting 3 racks. So he is going for that kind of more modern play. This will not allow him to put on too much pressure. But look at this, a very fast factory. Oh my gosh, like a 5-minute factory? Little bit surprised, honestly. Third base going up here for Beast. Yeah, that factory is just so fast. You can see how much he's skimping. You know, in a regular game without a wall, you couldn't make it look like this, right? You wouldn't have enough. You need to get your bunker a little bit earlier on, and then it throws everything back in the build order. You can see here, though, that Scan just now getting that bunker to help protect everything. You'll probably lift the barracks off and either put it here or float it into the main base pretty soon as well. And we have some missile turrets coming up because he's got to be ready for those first Mutalisks, which are starting to fly around the map a little bit. The Mutas, though, first look like they are trying to find this SCV. I think the Overlord was spotting that anyways, so he takes that out. No more scouting there for Scan. And yeah, I mean, as far as Beast side goes, that's a pretty standard opener, pretty straightforward. On Scan side, you know, it's the kind of modern +1 3 barracks play that we're talking about, followed by an extremely fast factory. It's probably going to be a Valkyrie build. We'll see if he throws down that armory or if he's going to want to get a second gas and that science facility. But it does look right now like it's probably going to be a Valkyrie build. Now the Muta's kind of flying through here. And we'll see how much damage they can actually get. They're killing a few SCVs here and there. This is not the end of the world for Scan. He actually damages a lot of the Mutas, picks one off, 2 of them very close to death. And that's a full scout as well here for Beast. Now, one thing we can note is that Beast is getting +1 flying attack. And that means if it is a Valkyrie build, then that's going to be very dangerous for Beast. But it is a science facility instead. Another thing I do want to point out with this is how late the +1, I mean, the range is, right? Like, that's Scan saying, I'm not even planning on moving out. Absolutely not. We're standing behind missile turrets to get this faster science facility and get those vessels out very quickly indeed. So right now, Beast coming back in with those Mutas. Yeah, not going to get too much done. Just a little bit of harassment. Scan's still sitting fine on 35 SCVs. Let's take a look at Beast's base. Just Mutalisk production at the moment. So definitely going very aggro. And you can really do this when your opponent does a build like what Scan is doing, where he's going 1 starport science vessel. That doesn't give you a ton of anti-muta, right? Like, after the vessel comes out, you still have to wait a little bit, and then you get 1 irradiate. And as long as he pulls that away pretty quickly, the Mutas have a long shelf life. Whereas if you do something like a 2 starport science vessel, you're going to have 2 irradiates, so the Mutas are going to get beaten up a lot quicker. Or, of course, if you do the Valkyrie build, that puts an expiration date on the Muta's usefulness pretty darn quickly. But here, he stays on it. Beast dives into the main base here. Goes after the missile turrets. Picks those off rather quickly. About to start losing some Mutas. Getting pretty low. Okay, loses 1. Looks like he's ready to lose a few more here as well. Trying to stay in here and actually sacrificing 5 Mutalisks so far. And it's going to maybe even be more than that. 6 Mutas fall. 7 Mutas fall before Beast gets out of here. And I don't know that was really worth it. Like, Scan is still sitting on 39, right? If you can get Terran below 30 SCVs, they're limping along, like they have to replace. But 30 to 40, like if you're talking 33 through 39 or 40 SCVs, that's like very solid economy. So it doesn't feel like Beast is getting quite enough done with these right now, but he is keeping Scan back, which is good. Some more damage being dealt in this main base, killing off maybe just a few SCVs, but more Marines overall. And there's that irradiate. And the split was not, it didn't even happen. Like, Muta just happened to die. He irradiated like a low health one, and his Marines helped to finish it off. But that is the only irradiate that we're going to have for a little bit. Now, there is a dropship out, so Scan definitely has some plans, some ideas for getting aggressive with some harassment across the map. Thing is, a lot of times it'll have an additional base like this, right? This might be the 3rd, or this might be the 3rd, and the dropship's very good. Here, you don't actually need a dropship. You can walk right in. This is another base's natural expansion. So the dropship, I'm not sure is going to find, like, any real use here. Like, maybe he can sneak outside. So, for instance, these Zerglings sitting out front don't see him. That would be the best use of it at this moment, I think. Now, Scan has +2 going. No +1 armor yet, despite the fact that he has that second eBay. Definitely want to see Scan throw down a second starport as well, by the way. Like, a lot of times when you see a 1 starport build like this and it doesn't have siege tanks, this is so that you can get both engineering bays going as quickly as possible. You know, it almost reminds me of the old crazy Terran build that was popular for about a month, where you just rushed your +2 as quickly as possible. It's not that quick, but it's kind of a similar idea of let's just focus on upgrades this game. But yeah, Scan looking pretty strong overall. He's still got fine SCV count at 42, starting to move out finally. That +2 is coming right along. Second starport coming up, which is definitely something he needs for that gas expenditure. You can see his gas starting to bank. But now Beast is starting to make lurkers. So these lurkers are going to be able to defend very, very well against the bio. And it's likely that this game is going to go pretty long, I would say. If you look at the situation, there's just no way for Scan to actually kill Beast, right? Like, he's got this one dropship, which can maybe get a little bit of damage if it hits just right, but there's no way for him to actually break in, right? 3 lurkers pretty much stacked with a sunken, no way. And over here, it's even more. I mean, you have, what is this, 6 lurkers plus sunken. You can't really break in against that. But here we go with the dropship. Let's see what damage Scan can get right here, right now. Their supplies are actually very close to even, which is kind of bad for Scan. Seems like Beast is powering up pretty heavily on his units. Now, Scan stims and runs down. The lurkers get into a decent position, but he will be able to pick off some units here. Now, the Muta's still showing a lot of value, flying in, and he doesn't lose very much. Going to be able to deal with that quite quickly indeed. And that is exactly what Mutas are for at this stage of the game. So really well done from Beast, saving those Mutas, dealing with that drop. And now Scan just kind of backing up. Doesn't have a lot going on right at this moment. Again, he has been preparing his upgrades specifically for this game. We have +3 already started. There's that +1 armor almost done. More barracks going up as well. Wow, going up to like 7 barracks right now. More than I thought I would see. I do know that Scan does like 7 to 8 barracks onto base and really applying pressure with that. It's just when you have positions like this, it actually doesn't matter how many Marines you make. What really matters is reducing lurker counts before you attack in, because you simply can't attack 5 lurkers with Marines, especially with that night. See, he comes over here with all his army. A couple more lurkers pop out. Yeah, you irradiated 3. Doesn't matter. 2 more are out. Still plenty of defense against basically infinite Marines. We did see a moment ago that Scan lost an additional science vessel. That's a little bit painful, I would say. You know, you really want to build the science vessel count up quite a lot. Like, that's one of the most important things that you can do in this matchup if you decide to go for SK Terran, which is just Marine Medic Science Vessel. The science vessels are really what allow you to beat Zerg over time, right? You just keep irradiating. And every one you lose, that's going to be multiple irradiates you miss throughout the course of the game. Now, he is trying to break through here. I don't think this is doable at all, though. Look at that. Just loses a lot of Marines. Doesn't actually get anything done here. He kills like a sunken, damages one as well. And then a Dark Storm comes up. So Scan has to rotate out of there. Looks like he's dropped off a little group of Marines and a medic up at 12 o'clock. This is going to be the place that he expands to. You see, he built the command center down here, decides to float it up into this direction. And you can see that Beast, I really like tactically what Beast is doing this game. Like, these Mutas have been so useful. And now going after the assimilators, this will prevent army movement into this area, which may allow Beast to do something like open up these eggs or open up these eggs and attack in with some Darkstorm and Lurkers. Now, the Mutas over here on hold position, going to be able to kill off a bunch of those SCVs. Super annoying, once again, for Scan. But at least he sees that the Mutas are there. Maybe he can prevent anything from happening. In the meantime, another big push towards the natural, but more lurkers being made. Beast simply has enough to hold on. They're at very similar worker counts within 10 supply. That is not, again, where you really want to be here as Terran. But Scan right now is going for battlecruisers with that tech lab. He's got double starport pumping them. He did get the armory for +1, but does not actually need that because there is no +1 carapace. If they get flyer carapace, you do need +1 attack on the battlecruisers to one-shot the Scourge. Because if you can't one-shot Scourge with BCs, the Scourge really counter them very, very hard. But in this case, he's going to be completely fine. The dropship's still coming into play. Look at this. Ferries over a few more Marines and a medic. Maybe he's going to be able to actually hit this 4th base location. That would be absolutely fantastic, but we see not a lot of progress being made. What we see over here is mostly just about getting irradiates off. And he is getting those irradiates off. Yamato on the way. Another group being ferried up. You know what? I think he's actually going to bust that. Like, these lurkers are not going to be able to unburrow and go down the ramp in time to save this base, I don't think, especially with battle cruisers coming in. Now, here we go. Through the night is some lings and an additional lurker. The lurker does get bumped there and doesn't come down. And yeah, this 4th base looks like it is going to get killed. A Defiler coming down for a Dark Swarm, so that can push the Marines back, but no real defense against these BCs. The Marines simply stim out of there and will hit the hatchery from another direction. Now, a Plague goes off on the BC, which is great counter to BCs, but even then, these BCs are not ready to die. One thing I would love to see, yeah, stimming down, hitting this, Scan with the rest of his units over in the natural right now. He's trying to put pressure on in multiple locations, saying, okay, defend this, and maybe I can hit elsewhere. But it looks like he's not going to be able to. He does end up killing this hatchery, which is good enough, I think, for this. And in fact, even targeting the hatchery, a very good idea. Ooh, the Muta's thrown away, unfortunately. Don't forget, by the way, that right now, he does have Yamato done. Oh, doesn't quite get to 150 before that one battlecruiser dies to the Scourge. Little bit painful there. More Scourge coming in, so this battlecruiser will end up falling. And it, oh my god, it got the hatchery there. But again, no Yamatos being used as of yet. Some Dark Storms going down as Scan tries to bunker push this area. I don't think I've ever seen anything that looks quite like this, where there's like a bunker push in someone else's main base with Dark Swarms defending it. Very wild to see, but more battlecruisers coming down. The bunkers still having some staying power there as well. Looks like Zealot out on the map with just a very small group of Zerglings may want to try to get into here or something, harass that economy. In the meantime, more irradiates have been going down. The army of Scans split into a couple parts. Whoa, 4 dropship coming in right now. Flies directly into a Scourge, but it's only 1 Scourge, so really not a very big issue. Great upgrades, 3-2 against 2-1 here. And that means that the Marines will absolutely plow through everything. The medics following these Marines down as they do target the Evolution Chambers. That is a huge, huge kill. Killing Evolution Chambers when they're going for Ultralisks is fantastic, and those first Ultras are going to come out. Of course, Ultra's a great counter to dropships. Really hard to have enough Marine medic in a side of dropships to deal with Ultras. In the meantime, another group of Marines and medics going over towards the natural base. Looks like Ling's going after the eggs. He may be able to actually shut this expansion down, which would be a huge moment. By the way, looks like these geysers were killed, and we have a bunch of SCVs trapped. Can't get through right now. A few lurkers going for a counterattack. Maybe a little bit of a containment here as well. Yeah, burrows exactly where those Marines are walking. A Scan comes down immediately, though. Scan living up to his name. And that's really, really important. If you miss that at all and they get like a free rally, like a free set of Marines that are coming out of your barracks, that is incredibly painful. By the way, we do have a couple of battlecruisers down here. They have their Yamatos ready, but might end up falling before they get them off. Oh, no. Can he get it? Oh, just lives with 2 health left over. You definitely want to make sure you're spending those Yamatos. Very useful indeed, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. A bunch of Scourge coming over. Now, battlecruisers and Marine fire bat. Oh, finally, some medics joining here in the center of the map, just kind of keeping things off of his back. But their counterattack did end up working at 12 o'clock. So Scan suddenly, nothing left here. Very little left here. He's almost not mining. But at the same time, for Beast here, look. Very low minerals, very low minerals. Gas is gone. Gas is another 3 minutes approximately. And then this base is healthy. Okay, so he doesn't have a lot going on. Definitely something to keep in mind here that can change the flow of the game so quickly. And these battlecruisers getting plagued. Another Defiler coming out to help out as well. Would love to see some irradiates upon these Defilers or Lurkers. Both are really juicy targets right now for Scan. Oh my god. And actually, someone killed off these as well. This, I think that was probably Zealot with, or, Zealot, oh my gosh, no. Beast is not that aggressive. That might have been Beast with his Mutalisks earlier on, so having a very hard time getting his SCVs actually into the expansion. The pathing, not the greatest sometimes in StarCraft 1. Vessels coming over to help deal with this little harassment. There's still a very big army in the center of the map here for Scan. Looks like those eggs might get dealt with. If he loses another base like that, then Beast will be able to take this. I see a lot of Yamatos, by the way, that are just not being spent. A lot of times when you go Battlecruiser, you don't even get Yamato because you assume the Battlecruiser will likely die before you can cast it. This particular game, Scan got it very quickly, but hasn't really utilized it. And Yamatos are, like, insanely strong. Yamato one-shots every Zerg unit except for the Devourer and the Ultralisk. So that's huge. 2 of them do a Spore, you know? Like, there's so many situations where it's useful. It's actually straight up better than Irradiate most of the time. So I would have loved to see some of those Yamatos, but for now, Beast running around where Scan's army is in the middle. A very small attacking force, but if you get it in the right position with a Darkstorm, maybe with a Plague as well, that is going to be hard to deal with. Oh my god, look at this. He actually put... Oh my god, he put the eBay over the eggs so you can't click on them. See? Oh! I got it with a drag click, but that drag click works differently than actually attack clicking, so he can't target that. I've actually never seen that before, but that is really brilliant. Oh my god, craziness going on right now. But it looks like he will be able to defend this location. I actually can't believe this move and the fact that I haven't seen it yet. That is awesome. But yeah, it looks like Scan should be able to get this base fully saturated. In fact, way oversaturated. Still attacking across the map. He has those very valuable 3/3 upgrades. Great upgrades on his opponent's side, too. The melee attack, not that high, so the armor of Scan going to be very sufficient for fighting the Lings. No range attacks either. Look at this. 7 Fire Bats on the way. Really focusing on that anti-Ling, anti-Darkstorm tech. And that can be a really good move, by the way. As you get later in the game, you know, I was talking about the geysers running out. Your geysers run out for Zerg right around 22, 23 minutes. You're down from your first 2. This one ends a little bit earlier on. And as those run out, the Zergling percentage of your army skyrockets. So to start throwing in Firebats exactly around this time is a really big brain move from Scan. Now another little attack up to 12 o'clock will continue to deny this base. This is getting incredibly annoying for Scan here. You really would prefer to have more bases. You can see the severe oversaturation over here. And the SCVs will not actually fix themselves in this situation, by the way. You have to manually try to split them how you want them. But look, the battlecruisers have a lot of potential for damage here. Spores are being made, but the battlecruisers can easily take out these spores, especially with the Yamato that we were talking about before. So he goes ahead and... Oh, he's actually going after the hatcher. I'm a little bit surprised on that, honestly. Looks like he's going to target the spore. He can finish that, of course, and then maybe sit over here and kill this one before it actually morphs in. Surprise on the Yamatos on the hatch. Like, you could kill the spores before they're even done there and then just let your regular attack hit the hatchery. Instead, there's a lot of damage being taken from those spores. He's being slowed quite a bit. This Defiler may be looking for one more plague, but the battlecruiser is going to try to get out of there. Beast going towards 12 once again. Can he get up there and deny this base more? This is very, very important mining for Scan. He doesn't have a whole lot going on economy-wise, whereas Beast is getting another base up now. You can see finally transferring his drones up here to 3 o'clock. We'll see if Scan has any counterattacks planned. He does still have those dropships from earlier on, mostly being used to ferry around SCVs right now, though. This battlecruiser being healed up. Looking so good. 7 kills on it. I honestly don't know who's going to take this. Like, it looked like it was going to be Scan for a little bit, but with this base going up and staying up, and then this base starting to get mined from... It feels like Beast actually can come back and win this. The main problem is the vessel count. These 8 vessels, if he can reduce those at all, I think this becomes a Beast victory pretty quickly. Because Scan just won't be able to really do anything without those Irradiates whittling everything down. That really is the late game of Terran. with this unit composition. You just have to get that going. Now, he decides to take down his own geyser here. Some nice plagues going onto the army. But, of course, if he takes down these geysers on both sides, then you actually have to drop things or fly things in. There's no other way in at that point. So we'll see if anything like that occurs. It doesn't feel like this is a game where you can, right now, like, get the drop upgrade. Little attack coming up into Scan's army here once again. And we are going to have that die. All right, so he has closed off this base completely. This is now an island. This area right there, that's an island. You can only get in flying. Okay, Ling's coming up across the map. And that is a lot. He might be able to erase this entire army. Some of the vessels being reduced. Really good moves there from Beast. And now the army of Scan dead as well. Now, Beast doesn't have a ton left right here. There's more battlecruisers on the way as well. Let's try to find out exactly what we have. Okay, so a group of 7 Marines. That can do short work of the drones over here. There's not much in here, but it's pretty safe for now. He's still got some drop ships, a lot of medics. Still pumping out Marines because he does have the 2 functioning bases as of right now, although they are getting low very, very quickly with such high saturation. Now, the drop goes off, and going after all the drones here at this 3 o'clock base. This is a huge kill if he can get it. Double battlecruiser coming in. The Spore actually making a big problem for the battlecruisers. Marines getting picked off by that ground force oh so quickly. Does pick off that Spore finally. And with a lot of Scourge being made, if he takes down the BCs, it's huge. But if he doesn't, the BCs can destroy this base. Looks like he does decide to back up, maybe to repair once again. Really, he's been getting a ton of value out of those battlecruisers all game. Another one up here helping to defend. Not sure why this area is still really being fought over, considering this is now closed. I feel like Scan should probably take a further back location where it's more of a choke. But he wins that fight. Big deal there. Kills this hatchery off during all this and is closing this as well. So right now with Beast expanding towards the top right, this is probably the most important place on the map. If he can sneak this up and Scan doesn't realize for a bit, that would be huge. By the way, all the medics walking off on their own as they sometimes do, leaving the Marines to fight by themselves under Darkstorm being plagued. And these, oh my god, the Zerglings clearing so many of them. Who is going to win this game? Like, I guess it's Scan, right? Beast is pretty low on everything. He's still got gas there. This gas is now depleted, so we have 1 full geyser and 3 depleted. So that is just under 2 geysers worth of mining, right? So that's not very much at all. Definitely a big problem. The armies get smaller and smaller here from Beast. He's trying to go up and delete things. The hatchery gets caught as well. I think that's the killing blow. And it is GG. Scan wins game 1.